Welcome, everyone. This is Piney Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andane,
Hey, everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi.
Maven,
Hey, y'all.
Aerother,
Hello, everybody.
and Carvet.
At your service and your families.
And this week, let's head into our news for the week. And that is that Turbine has announced the end of phone support.
Bum, 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 ba, bum,
Bum
ba,
ba
bum,
bum
ba,
ba
bum.
bum ba bum.
It's not that bad.
Bum ba bum.
No. It sounds like that they're actually just moving employees around. It doesn't sound like they're actually getting rid of anyone. It just sounds like, based on the way that they worded their statement, it says, on Monday, June 6th, we will be expanding our online and in-game support services as part of our efforts to provide speedier and high-quality PR stuff. As a result, phone support will no longer be available for Lord of the Rings Online. So, essentially, it sounds like that they're taking all the phone support employees and putting them over to the online support, which makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah,
Especially
it's
if
actually not
there's-
as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, it really isn't. Especially if there were less people calling into phone support anyway, which I'm guessing is the case. Otherwise, they probably would not have ended phone support. So,
Especially from Ninth Pawn's comment. There was phone support? Dang.
Well, I knew there was.
Basically.
Never had it
Basically.
easy. But it's the idea
I
that
actually
anything-
called in to Turbine phone support, and when you do, you hear the various soundtracks playing, and so whichever expansion came out recently is the one that they play, so Chance Thomas blaring through your phone when it's unexpected is just fantastic. Nice little surprise. And Turbine actually
The
had...
chat is saying that they can't hear you.
Well, we'll have to solve that, but Turbine actually said that they have... sorry. You totally distracted me there, Terry. That's actually a good thing, though. So I was actually called in several times to Turbine support and have had great customer service every time I've actually done that. They're just really good at it, and they actually have one of the best They had one of the best phone support places in all of gaming that I've called into. I've called into several different support companies. Turbine was head and shoulders above anyone else. So it's kind of sad to see this go, but at the same time, it sounds like the same support will still be for the game. So it's not really a bad thing. It's just them moving things around.
Like the old original Nintendo phone support line that you'd call in to like help you out when you were stuck on something in a game.
I did that once. It was a long distance call, and they told me how to kill one of Batman's enemies.
See? It's awesome. Maybe they're switching their phone support over to that. Hey, can you help me solo this one thing? I need help with a quest. That's actually exactly what happens in game already. Never mind.
Oh, I needed help with a quest too. But except it was a ticket. I waited, and they fixed it.
Yeah, I've had that happen. It's pretty great.
It
when
was
does.
horrifying. It was that instance in Evendom where all the rangers were doing that little memorial service, and you have to put their cairns on the rocks and stuff. I had to do it like 5 times before the guy showed up and fixed it. It was mortifying. Anyway, sorry. Traumatic memories there for Carve. My bad.
Spoilers.
Right. Now, let's... Now, did someone say
That's
that there was-
volume 1. If they haven't done it by now. Sorry. Sorry, I'm going to play the
People that
Andang
have it.
card on this one.
All right, have the issues being heard in the chat been fixed?
Yes, they have, Pineleaf.
Therefore, let us then head off to a little tease of a little raid that's coming up.
I'm
Yes.
excited for this.
Turbine, during their stream the other day, during Frelorn's weekly stream, actually teased an image of one of the 6 new raid bosses coming with update 18.2 in the new raid, which is going to have 6 bosses in it. So,
That's what I'm most excited about is the fact that it's 6 bosses.
Six
Which-
boss? This is going to be a big raid.
it's going to be a really long raid, too.
gonna
It
be
sounds
something
like it's
that,
a
like-
rift all over again.
Well, it's going to be like out on the fields of Pelennor, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah?
Or do we know?
But hopefully less laggy.
Well, I would guess that it's probably going to be a specific camp. It may be like set in such a story that after this has happened, there's still a sizable Mordor force out there, and there's these big general boss type dudes you have to go take out, like the boss of the wargs and the boss of the trolls and the bosses of the Mumakil and the boss of the Haradrim and the boss of the bosses and the commander of the bosses, and it could be cool.
Commander-in-chief of the bosses-in-chief.
Yes, and then there's the undersecretary to the general of the Nazgûl.
And Frelorn also said that update 18.2 is planned to be released by the end of the month. That's just their internal plan, not their, out-facing ones, but hopefully it will actually happen, and, that's pretty cool. But honestly, if the raid's not ready by then, I would prefer they push it back, because this raid has to be released properly.
And it needs to be beta tested.
Absolutely, and Frelorn did say that it will be beta tested. Hopefully it will be beta tested a ton. Turbine also said
sent out that call for raiders, wasn't it? So they could get people to test it?
That was on Palantir.
Yeah, that was for alpha testing, yeah.
So most likely that's already going on right now.
Frelorn said that it is, so yeah, they're already on Palantir testing it. Yep. And Turbine also said that the raid will not release with a new book chapter, but it will come with its own raid story. So So essentially what that means is that the story's not going to progress like some people thought. That won't be till 19 most likely. Update 19.
That sort of makes sense, though.
Yeah.
It does.
It definitely sounds like it'll be one of those. Meanwhile, on the other sides of fields of Pelennor, several large generals of the enemy have taken up positions. You, as the players, must gather many allies to go stop them from coordinating a counteroffensive.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the raid, especially after this teaser image, and so look forward to learning more.
Then let's head into the store sales. Derry, what's on sale this week?
Well, not a whole lot, actually. Free sample this week, June 3rd through the 9th, Universal Solvent. Use coupon code UNISOLV, Universal Solvent. One time per account. 20% off the Gift and Blessing of the Valar, Third Age Item Trove, and Legacy Scroll Box. But they are doing different sales every weekend in June, and this weekend emotes are on sale.
Nice.
And there's lots of them. There's all kinds of emotes. You can fish slap, you can fire breath, you can feather, you can dance like you wanna, you can jump, sneeze, spin, boo, banner, and the list goes on and on and on.
And even swing a golf club.
Chip putt. The stroking emote? I don't remember.
Let's head into the site news, and LOTRO Players celebrates 3 years.
It's unbelievable to me that LOTRO Players has been around this long. It does not feel like it's been 3 years already. This last year in particular has gone by super quick. And so yeah, June 1st marked the 3-year anniversary for LOTRO Players. That's when the site was officially launched. And, we came up right after CSTM when they announced that they were going to end. That's when we decided that we should create a fan site. And so a little bit after that, we created LOTRO Players. And the core original team was myself, Brannick, Pineleaf, Athelros, Sprydra, and Mystery. And since then, we've grown to have almost 50 writers now as of today. We got another new writer earlier today even, so tons and tons of people involved with LOTRO Players over the years. It's been amazing to watch it grow. And I'd just like to thank everyone for helping make this possible. Without you coming to our site, without you listening to this show, we could not have been around for 3 years. So thank you all so much. It really does mean a lot.
Happy birthday to you. Sorry.
Let's head into our community events for June 3rd through June 9th. And anyone have any favorites that are coming up?
No. Because the best one happened today and I wasn't able to go.
Oh. Anyone else have any?
Songs and dances were missed and mourned.
Yeah.
With With that note, then let's head into the Blue Theater Song Contest, the order of proceedings, and the best seats, where Lily Kate goes over where to sit or stand more likely, and the order which bands will be playing. And she also gave a tentative schedule on what time everything should be happening, and the biggest surprise of this entire thing was where she said such and such is going to happen, where the ending thing says we invite the winners to of the contest to play a second time at approximately 3:25 p.m. Usually when an event like this says approximately 3:25 p.m., you can be sure it's going to be about 5:15. And it happened at 3:25 sharp.
Wow.
The thing was like boom, 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 right on time.
Well, that's because you guys had upgraded to the pro level at the theater. Everybody's like, oh, we're in Gondor. We've got to have our A game on. This is not some podunk stage in the Shire. We're performing for royalty. Ha-ha!
And also the Pine Leaf Countdown.
Oh, yes. The app was in presence on the Gondorian cellular Palantirs. I hear the signal's really strong there. They got those towers.
And the winning
the beacons
band
were also cell towers.
right,
The beacons were lit. The towers were hot. Yay!
yes. And the winning band for this year was Polnolunia, which is a Russian band that was originally on Fornost. Then they moved to Laurelland, so they decided to visit Landreval for this particular competition. So let's hand one to the Russian servers then. Then let's head into our poll. And the question is, how would you rate Update 18?
Yes, Pineleaf, this was a follow-up to our review episode last week where we asked people how they would rate Update 18. The top answer, with 44% of the vote, was that they would give it a B, as in Bilbo. And the next answer was C with 22%, followed by...
As in what?
As in cat, followed by A with 21%, as in Erithert, followed by F, actually, with 7%, 15 votes.
For Fornost.
Okay. Because you'll be failing when you try to do Fornost. All right. 6%, 14 votes, actually said D to round things off. And so about 15% said that it should be below a C. So kind of surprising there. But, out of all the recent updates we've had, I think that this one is probably the most deserving of those type of scores, depending on what the player wants out of their updates. This update very much depended on what parts of LOTRO you play, I think.
Yeah.
Right, because it was excellent epic-wise, and a couple of the other things were...
Yep.
Lacking. Let's put it that way.
So therefore, let's then head into Lily Kate screenshots, the trampled fields of Pelennor.
This is a great shot.
Yeah, just don't get too close to those elephants, right?
Well, yeah. That's kind of the lesson we learned.
I may actually just save the screenshot and use it. If that's okay, Lily Kate.
It's
If I
pretty
could just,
cool.
use it as a stream background shot. Yeah, it's a good
It
picture.
is pretty cool.
That sunrise is what, if it wasn't for the sunrise, the whole Pelennor Fields would just be kind of comparatively meh. But the fact that they have that sunrise there just makes it.
And the Nazgul that's flying in the background, and yeah, it's a cool shot.
And for our next piece, Andang has finally finished posting his Eastern Gondor series.
Yes, Pineleaf, it only took a year.
Good grief!
Yeah, but finally this week finished posting it and had 43 episodes. The reason it took so long was really more Middle-earth lore and less the series itself. Because when I started going through production on Middle-earth lore, that really slowed down my release process for all my series, and so that's part of the reason why Eastern Gondor took so long. Hopefully Minas Tirith will not take as long.
You spend a lot of time in post-production.
What are you talking about, Pine Leaf? Middle-earth lore was only 9 months ago when we started. And then the production process before was around the time when I started Eastern Gondor, so really that is what greatly delayed the series back then, and then I've had to been catching up since then. But anyway, if you're interested in hearing Eastern Gondor fully voiced, then you can listen to this series.
Then let's head into episode 94, part 94 of The Family Line. Healing! You mean after all this time he finally finds a minstrel?
Maybe he figured out he's got Beacon of Hope as a skill.
Ah!
He's like, wait a minute, I've got an extra healing skill here. Hold on. More masters, you know.
It's
awesome.
I've been saying for like several weeks now, like, yay, summer, when I can read things. It's on the list.
Summer.
After like school reading, but it's on the list.
It's on the list.
Then let's head into Critters Casual. All things hobnanigans and chicken pets.
Chickens.
All those questions you didn't even know that there were to ask about chicken pets.
And therefore he shows, he has a little video here of the chicken golfing.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the
I don't
best.
think I've actually seen that in game. That is fantastically mortifying, and it's so fun.
And he has a video of the chicken animations, and I will presume the top video is showing someone actually trying to play it.
Yeah, go for it.
That's
Go for it.
If you, the thing is, if you're gonna do hobnanigans, do it with like kinmates or friends, because otherwise,
because pugging
it's just,
hobnanigans is liable to get you in a place where it's coin farming.
yeah, because I've played hobnanigans twice, ever. Both times I have been on a team with the AFK alts of the people on the other team. It was not very fun. So yeah, if you're gonna play hobnanigans, it's a ton of fun to do like with friends and stuff. But yeah, don't pug it.
Right, that is it.
But it's
So
fun.
either join your kinship, or some servers are starting leagues, and I would presume such behavior would be highly discouraged from leagues.
Probably.
Like for example, if
League play.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yes, game fixing, I think it's usually discouraged by various leagues. So then let's-
With hobnanigans, we have the East Area Door Eradicators up against the roving Rovanian threats. Join us for some chicken hockey tonight.
Then yes, uncovering the annals of the dwarves.
Yes, Pineleaf, we actually have a new writer that is actually one of our old friends. The Dwarfs Caller is now a writer on LOTRO Players. So, welcome to the Dwarfs Caller, and this is their first article.
Right?
And-
And have any comments on it?
It basically is a free download fan fiction series and is super awesome. Highly recommend it. Called The Annal of the Dwarves by the Dwarfs Caller. So definitely recommend it. It even has illustrations. So it's a major thing. So highly recommend it.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna check that out.
Then
Pictures
let's
make
head
it
into
easier reading.
history. God, I'm so excited.
Let's head into the Critter's Journey number 26. Human pens. Are they talking about things to write with, or are they talking about places where they keep them inside?
In Mordor, most likely.
Yeah.
Thinking about human pens, I'm like, what? Huh? That's fantastic.
Those warg pins are real easy to convert, aren't they?
Yeah. All right, that's it. All right, I could just imagine they're saying, all right, if a quill is a chicken feather, then if you made a pen from a human part, what?
So Pineleaf's on another
Moving
planet
on.
tonight, but
Let's go into the Brax Memorial pick of the week. What's the pick for this week?
The pick this week is a. Normally, I don't recommend like fundraiser type sites, or not going to bring it to the attention of the podcast. However, there is a GoFundMe out there that I think everybody should be aware of and take a look at, and it happens to be a honeymoon site, a GoFundMe Hobbit honeymoon for a certain person that we know named Aerith.
And love.
Yeah.
And his fiance, Raylineal, Becca.
Actually, it's for Becca and her fiance.
It's for
Yeah,
Becca
that's-
and her
Aerith.
fiance.
Let's
Yes.
be honest. Yeah. But, no, basically, I should probably just make more sense to me to talk about it than Terry. Essentially, I have a fully furnished apartment. We're getting married in October. Yay! And we don't need a lot of stuff. And one of our friends was like, you guys both want to go to New Zealand to see like Hobbiton and things like that. So he's like, why don't you just do a GoFundMe instead of like a wedding registry? And we're like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing idea. And then I showed folks in my chat, and then now Terry's showing the world. But I wouldn't mind if it went viral or something, but hey. So yeah, that's basically what it is we can't really afford to go to New Zealand because tickets are like expensive to get a plane over there. But yeah, if we don't end up going there, then we'll go to St. Augustine in Florida, which we both love visiting as well. But hopefully we can make it over and see Hobbiton and bring back pictures.
The reason that I picked this as this week's pick is because LOTRO has a fantastic community of players. To the point where I was watching a newer streamer last week who didn't even know Aerith outside of the fact that he knows Air is a LOTRO streamer. And in spite of this, the banner running across the top of the guy's stream, instead of like follow me on Twitter or follow the channel or donate here or whatever, was Aerith's GoFundMe Hobbiton Honeymoon. And I just thought that was the best thing ever.
Me too, actually.
Then
So-
let's head into our week in LOTRO, where we go over what our highlight for the week was. And Andy, what were you up to?
well, Pineleaf, you were there.
Oh, I was.
You were. You were, because this week I actually reached level cap on my champion by skirmishing with Pineleaf, which is the best way to reach level cap. And it was a ton of fun. It took a little bit longer than I expected. It was almost 4 hours, and that was with XP boosts. But it was a lot of fun and reached level cap, and so now I have my champion at cap again.
That's
So-
finally probably made you skirmish responsibly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That's why it took so long.
That's why it
You should
took so
come.
long.
You should come
Yeah.
skirm with me. I let NPCs die all the time. It's great.
Yeah, the key to skirmishing through levels is to skirmish irresponsibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was wearing my skirmishing responsibly t-shirt, at least through part of the stream.
All the more
Chromite.
reason to skirmish irresponsibly.
Maybe.
I was doing an instance earlier with Chromite, and I was the tank, and I'm used to like gathering up a bunch of stuff and killing it, but he was like trying to be patient, and I think I annoyed him a little bit, but he was very gracious about it because he was trying to like, okay, if this was a tier 2, this is what you would do, and I'm like, it's tier 1, man, and like ran off and like picked up a bunch of stuff. We lived, it worked, but yeah, skirmishing irresponsibly is way more fun.
Oh, well. Carvet, what were you up to?
Well, I am falling in love with the Lore Master again. I purchased with my free-to-play account series the region of Aregian, and this morning I completed half of it, doing both the the Gwingris hub as well as the Ekid Aregian hub. And then I moved on down to Ekid Dinan, and I let my chat vote, and I think next time I play that character, I'm going to go run off and get my LI, and then come back out and do Ekid Dinan, and then head off to Mirabelle. But I'm just having a lot of fun playing the Lore Master. So, Erithek, you?
I did a lot of leveling this week. Like, a lot of leveling. It started with my Warden. I started early this week at 11, and my Warden is now 31. And my Runekeeper, I did a little bit of some stuff. My sister actually got on, so my sister and Becca and I, we all did stuff, and it was in the, what was it? Like the Red Marsh place just northeast of Ostgaruth, that place. I forget. Agamar, yeah. We were in there and doing stuff. So she's got a Guardian. My sister made a Guardian. Yes. So she made a Guardian, and I was on my Runekeeper, and Becca was on her Minstrel, and it was a lot of fun. So my Runekeeper, between that and crafting, which I may or may not be doing right now, like 91 bundles of winter barley. He's level 31 now, so my Warden's 31, my Runekeeper's 31, and my Minstrel, much thanks to Chromite earlier, is now took that from 84 to 87. So a bunch of leveling this week for me, and that's pretty much it. Terry, what'd you do?
Well, I actually did quite a bit of Ostalindel this week, but last night I took the folks from the Academy field trip after the field trip was over with, and we went and did a 4-man of Ostalindel at level cap over on Landreval, and despite the fact that it was only 4 of us, we nailed the challenge. This is my first time ever completing the actual challenge in an instance. It was awesome.
Question.
Yes.
If you, like, I know, like, folks are doing Ostalindel for the challenge and because you get another box and you have a chance at stuff. If you fail the challenge, I know, like, if you run the instance once, you can't run it the same day and get the same rewards in the box. Can you?
Right.
Correct.
No.
Right. You only get one of the featured instance boxes. Actually, you can get 2 featured instance boxes, because if you run it at a level between 100 and 104, you get a box for the featured instance, and then if you run it at cap, you get another box for the featured instance.
Now,
and then if you complete the challenge, yes.
Yeah. If you complete the challenge, you get another box, right?
Yeah, you get a special challenge box.
Now, if you fail the challenge, can you run it again to attempt to get the challenge and still get that challenge? You have to nail it first time.
Can't. I have no idea.
We did that on Tuesday. We tried the challenge and failed it, and then came back and did it again and did it, but it wouldn't give us the. It didn't give us the.
No, it was the same instance.
Challenge.
We didn't try doing it again.
It told us it told us we failed it, and then we went back in and tried it again, and actually would have probably done it, except we wouldn't have gotten credit for it.
Well,
I mean, it didn't activate.
It failed in that particular instance, and then we went on and finished the actual quest, but we didn't actually launch it again to see if it would give us the challenge again. Because we only did it once at 105.
That's right, because we wiped. We came.
Yeah, we wiped and we failed. We went back in and finished it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't actually know. Maybe
Curiosity.
somebody in the chat will know.
I'm thinking
I'm gonna
probably
have to get on my Guardian later and try again. I tried it. It was a group with 3 lore masters. Imagine how that worked out. They died. Lots
3
of
lore
fire.
masters.
Yeah, they were like single target only. It was me, 3 lore masters, and a champion and somebody else. I don't remember who it was. But the 3 lore masters, like somebody dropped fire in a sticky gourd, and that was it.
Weird. So Maven, what were you up to?
I made merry mischief with our peers in Bree this week. Yeah, we. I have a new champ, and it's part of a new kin, and there's like only 4 or 5 of us in the kin, and so 3 of us were running, and we actually were doing the Bingo Boffin quest. So we ended up. This is where it started. We ended up in the Prancing Pony doing. We did that one. And while we were in there, we started to read, the RP stuff, and I was like, oh my god, it was like so schmaltzy. So anyway, so we kind of got in the habit of going back in, to like finish up our questing every night, and one of the guys would play music, and we have sheep. We got sheep with the bingo box. So the sheep were in with us, and they were like his backup singers because they're so noisy. And so we kind of had some RPers be like, "Can you take your sheep outside?" And then other RPers are like, "No, no," you know. And one RP came up and says, "I want one of these as a pet." And you know, another Hobbit, you know, brought his sheep along. I mean, it's really hilarious. And actually, one of the guys actually talked to one of the RPers today, you know, out of character, and their peer was like, "You guys are a riot. You guys are really funny." I'm like, "All right, way to encourage us." So anyway,
I'd like to
highlight
encourage
of my
RP. Yes.
yes. So anyway, it was kind of fun. I mean, we're not trying to disrupt anything. Although I got to say, some of the schmaltz is pretty heavy, but. You know, we're just kind of in there bringing, and that's what my friend said to the guy. He says, "We're just trying to be, you know, bring a little fun," and he's like, "Yeah, keep it up." So anyway, so that was pretty fun. Pine Leaf, how about you? You're next, right?
So before we move on
sorry.
to Pine Leaf, Maven, considering your behavior, did you guys feel sheepish at all?
Oh,
Womp, womp, womp.
Actually,
I
my
had
sheep
to-
decided to get up on the table when we were doing bingo's thing. He actually stood in a plate, and so one of my companions was complaining about the rare mutton that was too raw to eat. I was like,
So
yeah,
you're saying that it was fresh?
yeah, fresh sheep, yes.
That was bad.
And at one point, actually, he was in playing the lute, and the sheep happened to arrange themselves so they were like in this little threesome behind him. They looked like his backup singers.
The awkward part is considering what lute
it was
strings
very
are probably
funny.
made out of.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
Backup
didn't think
strings.
about that.
That's up there,
Ooh. Oh, that's depressing. I'm not telling my sheep that. Anyway, Pine Leaf, get us back on track, please.
Right. Right. Oh. It sounds like Buddha wants us to get back on track too.
Yes, he does. He didn't
Right.
like that story.
Yes. Very well. My Bjorning completed Volume 3 of the epic storyline and finishing up the little shenanigans in Isengard, and then went over into the Dunharrow where we went and started Volume 4. So now I have just entered into Gondor.
I don't think I've ever actually heard being imprisoned in Isengard and escaping and all that stuff is shenanigans.
No, I was not talking about the thing about being in prison. I was talking about the flooded Isengard.
Oh, okay. Well, that's shenanigan-y.
Okay.
Yeah, being imprisoned in Isengard is some shenanigans.
I was like,
Oh,
when
especially
I think
wait.
shenanigans, I think people dancing on tables. I don't think slavery, but
Oh yes.
Well, I think what we do in Isengard in order to escape is shenanigans.
this is true. I think anything
no,
can be
that's
classified as shenanigans.
Artful maneuvering. That's like
Artful maneuver.
intrigue.
Nice.
Let's
job.
head in.
Go ahead.
Let's head into news beyond LOTRO, and our Middle Earth video highlights: The Hunt for Gollum.
This
is
is
a great film. Go ahead, Andy.
absolutely, yeah. They do a lot of creative things with their budget, so they don't have to do so many special effects shots and things like that that are just really great. I enjoy this film a lot. I actually rewatched the whole thing again this week. I've seen it several times, and it's fun to watch every time I have. It's just a great short little film that tells the story about the hunt for Gollum. And it's something that, you know, it's one of those mini stories that Warner Brothers has, but I don't think that they know they have and could tell. There are so many stories in Tolkien's universe that they have rights to, and I don't think they have any idea that they have rights to them.
I think Made of Lions knows.
Maid of Lions definitely knows, but I'm talking about like the film side of Warner Brothers.
Well, we have enough trouble for the people in Turbine knowing what the other
Well.
side of the office is doing.
That's true. That's true, Pineleaf.
We currently have 25 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join this illustrious rate of players to help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest host with us here at LOTRO Players News. And this week we have a couple of featured comments. The first one comes from Ranger Lily Rose.
That's my kin leader.
Very well, then could you please read her?
Sure. I'm not going to read it in her voice because I can't do that.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Spoiler, spoiler. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah. Spoiler warning. I'm very
that's right.
disappointed. Yeah, if you have 18.1 spoilers yet to be spoiled for you by experiencing them directly for yourself, and you'd rather us not tell you indirectly what is going to happen in the story, go ahead and skip forward approximately 4.5 minutes. I'm very disappointed.
4.5 minutes?
Yeah, pretty fast. And we can talk fast. In 4.5 minutes, well, Pineleaf can count it down. I'm very disappointed in how Halberad's sacrifice is being treated by many players. Halberad is taunting Gothmog to keep his attention from the others. He taunts Gothmog, makes him lose his composure, and sacrifices himself to allow his allies to strike, specifically to keep him away from his king, Aragorn. Seriously, how can it be that a basic game mechanic isn't recognized when it applies to the story itself? Sigh. Lights a candle for the noble and misunderstood Halberad. Yeah. I'm one of the people that's not satisfied with Halberad's death. Like, it seems dramatically anticlimactic. And if it was, like, sacrificing himself to allow his allies to strike, his allies totally missed the cue because nobody struck.
Well, and they're playing with our emotions way too much, way too quickly there for it to be taken as a dramatic and serious death. But I don't think that that's the intention of what they're doing there. And so it's kind of a... Depending on how you interpret it, it can be a very weird feeling that you have coming out of his death.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I saw it, I thought, wow, these guys are frayed because it's been a long and crazy battle and all kind of... I mean, it's hit the fan, right? And so everybody's on edge to begin with. But then when Gothmog starts going into his, you're not worthy this, and I'm so powerful, that monologue garbage, Halbrad just loses it because he's like, ha ha ha, you have a chink in your armor, fool. And if Gothmog, you know, typical 3-year-old overpowered evil minion goes into this rage and then does what he does, and you're like, oh, snap! I didn't think anything good or bad about Halberad, because I was just thinking, wow, Gothmog is unhinged now, buddy. That must have hit him where it hurt. And that was what I thought. It could have been any character that
I actually was
splatted at that point.
I was actually surprised because it was, oh, hush, it was out of character. In my experience of Halberad, it was out of character for him to do that in that moment. If somebody else had done it, then yeah, but I don't know. It didn't. It was like of all the ones that.
Yeah.
If somebody had said to me, "Guess who laughs?" It wouldn't have
It
been
would
Halberd.
not be
He's been
Halberad,
the leader
yeah.
of the thing. Yeah, he's been the leader of the thing the whole time. He's been very
I agree.
together, and you know what I mean. So that was kind of my thing. It was kind of like, geez, and I mean, I knew he was not going to make it. I mean, I knew he was going to be because I read the book, but I was a little disappointed that was the way he left us.
Yeah, it does seem.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It seems really anticlimactic. I don't understand like why they had to have him go that way. You know, have him jump up after Golidir and do his thing. Like Golidir got a cool death. Halberad got, and that was it.
Pretty much.
So, yeah. But definitely lighting a candle for him because he was awesome and he died and it sucked. So yeah.
Then let's head into our email for this week from Aradathalion. And who would like to read this?
I'll read it.
I will. Go ahead, Carve.
Okay.
Go ahead, Carve.
LPN crew. Thanks so much for taking the time to read my email, particularly for reading it in Kermit's voice. I really enjoyed... Okay, so much for my completely trying to be all, like, you know, professional and stuff. I really enjoyed the update talk. I haven't even really gotten anywhere close to that, so I'm bound to forget anything I've heard that is a spoiler. However, I am continually impressed with the detail and care the devs put into the game. I think the quality of the game, and I think LOTRO, will be around for many years and more adventures. I also had another question for you. A little background information first. I have played from around launch of free-to-play, but in those 3 years, brace yourself and laugh a little because it's silly, I never made it any farther in the epic than Book 3 of Volume 1, partially because of a nasty case of completionism. I am there. I know your pain. That's me speaking, by the way, not him.
No, I totally
am
get it.
because y'all know I had the epic binge last weekend just to make it to get the content. Anyway, I am now starting to play a lot more. Do you have any recommendations of quest lines that are worth looking forward to, or lines that are must-do for you in a playthrough? I'm going to do it all, or as much as possible, but I wanted something to motivate myself with more than the simple mystery of the unknown and a really compelling epic quest. Thanks for the input, and I'm going to use his pronunciation guide here, Eratathalion. Level 27 Warden of Arkenstone. P.S. I noticed that some of you were stumbling over my name. No hard feelings, it's hard to pronounce, but I do have some help for you. I think, according to elf pronunciation websites, it's pronounced Eratathalion. I hope that helps. Thanks again. So, LOTRO Players Newscast. As I read the letter and I propose to you, what are some of the favorite quest lines, aside from the epic, which I think is what he's going for here, that you would shoot for in each zone? Or, like, that would stand out?
Dunland.
As a whole,
Dunland
yeah.
I do Dunland on almost every character.
Yeah.
I think I've skipped it maybe.
Well, we know Terry does Dunland because she likes pretty wardrobe.
Right.
It's not just the pretty wardrobe. I'm actually doing it for the
In the
story.
Pretty Rangers, yeah.
No,
that's
that's Gussie Moose.
Yeah, that's Gussie Moose.
Gussie Moose is all about the Ranger eye candy. Come on.
After Dunland, you can skip Gap of Rohan and Isengard because there's very little story in those two areas.
Kind of to aim more at the level where he's at. The Forsaken Inquests, I always enjoy that whole line of stuff. Going through, I can't say I'm a fan of anything in the Trollshaws really, but
No.
the Forsaken the quests and in the Lone Lands, and then Evan Deem is laid out really nicely, and it's got some good stories and stuff in there, and you can get good gear from there too. Basically, all of Eregion, not all of Eregion. Is it Eregion? Yeah, Eregion.
The area south of the Trollshaws?
Yeah, that whole place is really well laid out. The story is not exactly compelling, but the quests are enjoyable to do. That was nice. The Misty Mountains is a lot of fun, actually. I think Becca and my fiance, did every quest we could find in the Misty Mountains, and we enjoyed it. It didn't really seem like grinding at all. Angmar.
What part of the Misty Mountains were you playing?
No,
because I need to find that.
It's better now that it's been revamped. The 40 to 45 version of Misty Mountains is a lot smoother and easier to run through than the previous. Do half of the zone, go back go somewhere else, level a few levels, and then come back and then finish the zone. It's much better now.
Okay, cool.
And I mean, I seem to remember it's been a while. It's been a long while. But
yeah. I actually was looking at the Misty Mountains earlier this week.
That the story in there is interesting enough that it's actually like, it's interesting, and it's not just boring quests. Like, if you read the text, it's interesting, which is basically true for most quests. But for the level where you're at, Era, because we're just going to call you Era because I'm Era too. It's like we're twins. The Forsaken Inquests are a lot of fun. I would go Forsaken Inquests until you get to like level 30-ish, and then start in on Evan Dean. That's actually what I'm doing on my Warden right now.
And they say that they made it to Book 3, Volume 1, and so they say things to look forward to. So I'd say the first part of Rohan, not the various first part. You have to skip the place that you land at first because there's a lot of boring quests there. But after you get your War Steed, most of the stuff in that part of Rohan is actually interesting. I think you could probably skip the other half of Rohan there is some great story in there, but as a whole, there's a lot of not great story there too, and more of the just sameness of Rohan. Because I think that this person seems to be someone who has trouble being motivated as far as like getting really interested in certain parts of stories. So I think stories that stand out, first part of Rohan, and then also Paths of the Dead, and into the first parts of Gondor before you get to the whole craziness that is the Dawn's Day. Before you get into that, that's also great.
There's
And then-
also session play with Gollum and Bilbo and Frodo.
Yeah.
Not Bilbo, Gollum
Yeah.
and Sam and Frodo, which I actually still have yet to do that session play.
Yeah, I still need to do that too.
It's really good. I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. It's a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it was pretty good.
And don't forget Volume 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you're looking at Volume 1 stuff, Volume 1 of the Epic is awesome to do at least once. Just do it. Even if you're on a level that's a character that's stupidly over-leveled, just do it once.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of really great content, and the stuff that happens towards the end of Volume 1 ties really well into the overall story that's happening in the Eregion region. You touch all the different regions in Eriador, but specifically there's some really neat stuff in Volume 1 that you can't get to in Eregion unless you do Volume 1 to kind of flesh out some of the stuff that's going on in that region. Another thing that you want to look forward to that I always look forward to, in the Trollshaws at Ekid Candeleth, there is a quest chain starting with, I think, the White Stag that leads to a rather interesting encounter with a beloved, hated character in LOTRO that you will probably enjoy.
Also, in their absence, that whole
Yeah.
line of instances in the story with that is, by almost all accounts, one of the best stories in LOTRO.
You mean the one that I've gotten nowhere near ever completing?
Yeah.
Well, it
That-
does end in a raid.
Did you
It
guys
doesn't
mention?
do
I'm
it.
sorry.
Actually, I
you
haven't
guys
gotten too
mention
far
the-
and actually started yet.
Did you guys mention the Shards of Narsil chain?
Oh yeah,
Did I
and
miss that?
the blade that was
Yeah.
reforged. That's another great one. to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, that's another really good
And
one.
you want to pick that one up before you go into Evandin proper, or at least before you start helping the Rangers. That way you can work on it while you're doing the other stuff in Evandin too.
And I still have not been able to fully complete that, even though I've seen the story through, because first playthrough I died at the very last second and didn't get credit for the boss fight, which was really annoying.
Oh.
And then the next playthrough, I was too high of a level, and so went through the content too quickly for it to count, and so it glitched out again. And so at that point, I was just like, I'm done with this.
I think I need this information because my warden is starting Evandem, and I need to know.
Yeah, what you want to do is make a trip to Rivendell, talk to Aragorn, pick up the quest, and then he'll vector you back over to Tinudir, and then you'll talk with the Rangers, Calanglad, I believe, and then he will get you started, and, oh, Aragorn sent you, huh? Haha, I don't believe you. Prove it! And then he makes you go do rangery proving stuff. And while you're doing the rangery proving stuff, you're also going to be hitting some of the other areas you're requesting, so you might as well go ahead and do it. And at the same time, you're in Evandim and working on the blade that was broken, you might as well start the puzzle chain quest, which it's not so much a puzzle chain, but it's basically like this long treasure hunt where you have to go and find all these stone markers that are scattered all over Evandim, and it takes you on this treasure hunt all over the place, which you can also do at the same time. So there's like 3 really long arcing stories that you can follow with that area. Cool.
That's actually a really fun quest chain. Kind of side quest-ish tidbit. I recently learned that the In Their Absence storyline is not, as I've always thought, in the Rangers' absence. It's actually in the absence of the Wizards.
But I've thought about that. That does not make sense to me because the only wizard who's actually gone is Gandalf. The rest of the wizards didn't have that much to do with people in Middle Earth. So I've been thinking about that. And I just don't get it. Yeah, but
always
I mean,
heard it
in
was
their
Miranda's
absence, nobody's
absence.
noticing that they're gone because it's only Gandalf who's gone.
I've always heard
So,
it was
I mean-
absence.
Well, but Terry's reporting on something that apparently Turbine has confirmed, so it's not,
Yeah,
I
apparently
just,
there's
but I
But
still
the
just
thing
don't get
is,
it.
just because a content creator believes something's the case doesn't mean that that's what the audience interprets. Once it goes into the public domain, it's up to the audience to interpret the message, no
Right.
longer the
Right,
content
that's true.
creator.
And from a lore standpoint, I think it makes more sense that their absence is the Rangers' absence
I
because
agree.
they've been the really active protectors of the area. I mean, it was just Gandalf. Radagast wasn't doing anything. Saruman certainly wasn't doing anything. And those 2 guys, the blue guys, I mean, they're down creating cults. So, anyway.
That's what I hear.
If you would like to create a wild debate, you could send us an email at podcast@lotrplayers.com.
Most entertaining.
You could also follow us at Twitter, preferably without the help of Buddha. The Players Alliance at Players Ally, Lotro Players at Lotro Players, Andang at PVMP_Andang, Aerithert at Aerithert, Carvet at Carvet LP, Maven at Token Maven, Pineleaf at Pineleaf News, and Terry Adwin at Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. On the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Academy After School. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News. And every other Saturday after Lotro Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. You can join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Pineleaf News reminding you to skirmish responsibly.